Hi everyone, welcome back to Piri's podcast. In this session, we are going to discuss about the Zydus Life Sciences. And last week, the pharma stocks fell heavily, and in particular, after the acquisition of Sterling Biotech Limited, Zydus shares fell. So the investors were not happy with the acquisition of this company. So when a company is acquiring another company, it will be for the benefit of the company. But why does the share price fall?
Well, two issues with which Zydus is facing, which I don't think will be a long-term problem. These are all short-term problems. One is the most investors feel and analysts feel they paid too much money for it. That was an expensive buy. The reason why they feel it's an expensive buy is right now the product range what Zydus has and the market they're selling these products to, what they call the moat they have, which like Warren Buffett says, that their products are unique and no one else is selling similar products at the price range. That is not as secure as it was last year. So that means their earnings might dip. That means the drugs they are selling, those generic drugs, are going to face stiff competition from competition which is entering the market, offering the same kind of drugs, the same combinations at a lower price and might affect their earnings. So that compounded with this acquisition, they feel that the earnings are not going to be great. So taking that into forecast, they're saying it should be corrected and the price should be at this point. This is the reason. Like how Nvidia and other company prices are being pushed up because future earnings. If there's a future loss in earnings, investors do the same thing. They start hitting the price today itself and exiting. When they say this price is high, it should actually be 50 rupees or 100 rupees or 1000 rupees lower. They'll push the price all the way to that point. That is what's happening with Zydus. Now, if you look at it as a long-term investor, there's nothing to worry about. They have other drugs in their portfolio which is coming through, which will in turn replace these. And also in the term of pharmaceuticals, more and more drugs will reach stages where they can become generic. So these companies will pick it up and start making it. So in terms of product and pipeline, the future is great. And pharmaceuticals is something human beings will require even if AI is there. So it's nothing to worry about. These are things which happen periodically in pharmaceutical industry. It happens in pharmaceutical companies individually, and it definitely affects Indian companies also like this. Like we spoke in another video, where because of the Bangladesh issues, we said the pharmaceutical companies who are exporting to Bangladesh will be facing issues. This company also exports, so they might be facing issues there, against Indian drugs coming. So these are all temporary. End of the day, it'll all get sorted out and things move on. So I would advise investors to keep current earnings, and as long as the current price makes sense in evaluation PE and there's no debt in these companies, then it's definitely worthwhile considering, especially if it's an export-oriented medical company. There are medical companies which are not exporting. Those are a different basket. These companies are exporting, so they're earning in dollars also. So it's definitely worth considering and keeping it in mind when you're looking at it. These kinds of news, I would say, if you're looking for some time, you've been waiting to consider this stock. If it is coming to your buying range and you can consider it, you should definitely look at this. But like I said, if I had to choose Zydus over Natco, I still prefer Natco because Natco is at a far more value proposition in terms of price to earnings compared to Zydus. Though Zydus will probably have better, glamour right now quotient attached to it than Natco and Natco's range of products.
And in this news, headlines is given that Zydus will acquire 50% of the equity. So what does mean by 50% equity stake in this?
They're buying 50%. They're not buying the whole company. They're buying ownership of 50%.
50% equity stake they have mentioned.
Yeah, equity is shares. Another name for shares is equity. So they're buying shares. So when I buy 50% of equity in your company, I'm buying 50% shares of that company. So that's all it means.
And one more term it is mentioned repeatedly is that API is mentioned throughout the article, whichever.
API is a term for generic pharmaceutical drugs. So that's all it is. That's what exactly I was saying. Unless you are looking at it on a quarter-to-quarter basis, or you're looking year-to-year basis, and you're looking at specific drugs and the market for those drugs and the earnings from those drugs, you analyze going deep into it, then it's worth doing it. But if we're looking at it for next 10 years, it's safe. Next 10 years, he's not going to be selling the same API or drugs or whatever. He's going to be moving and pivoting to whatever is available in his portfolio, and wherever the market takes him, wherever he can see money, he'll be getting into that. So it's very hard to predict this. And if you look at it in only purely in terms of value investing, then you have to look at it in terms of, like I said previously, earnings to price. What was his earnings right now? What is his price right now? And I do not do forward projecting because there's no clarity in it. Like this is the reason why this 6% is, it is projected in the future. And next for the 1 year, they're going to be dampened. That's very hard to predict. So I would not put too much water in it if you're looking at it to invest for 10 years. If you're a short-term player, then the discussion is very different, and I'm the wrong person to discuss.
Yes. So we don't know that.
No. I cannot tell you if it will rain tomorrow or not. If anyone who claims that, good for you.
So I hope that this video is informative, and if you like this video, please share it with your friends whom you think it will be helpful for them, and please subscribe to this channel for more kind of videos. See you in another episode with an interesting topic. Thanks for watching the video.
Thank you.